Hi, I'm Stephen Adams and welcome to Optimum TV. Today I'm joined by Florian Voss, CEO of Numarez, which is a Germany-based diagnostics company. Hi, Florian.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Good, thanks. Let's get right in there. So, Numarez is an interesting name. Tell me the story behind it.
It's actually pretty simple, and the reason why we're talking, it stands for nuclear magnetic resonance, which is the core technology that we use.
Okay, fantastic. So, nuclear magnetic resonance, how's it usually used? What do people mainly use it for?
Well, you would know that from chemistry departments, typically from universities. You see that a lot in oil and gas. You see that in pharma. NMR works the same way as MRI does, pretty much. So what you would do is you put a specimen, in our case a biospecimen, into a very strong magnetic field. You expose it to external impulses and you would see how it behaves in that magnetic field. And this is what you measure, and this is the data that you capture, and that allows you to draw conclusions based on the substances included, the chemical substances and molecules, and also the quantity of those.
Okay. So how is Numarez using NMR, and how does the way you use it differ to how others use it?
Well, we use the NMR to quantify and to find molecules in human biospecimen, in blood and in serum. And we are actually mostly a software company. So we use NMR as an existing base technology and have a very standardized and easy to use process implemented, which means that you don't need highly technical staff in order to run that instrument. It's a piece of very complex technology. But in our use case, people get a very short training and are able to use the NMR for life science research, but also for diagnostic purposes.
Okay, so it enables people to use NMR in an easier way than they would otherwise do, and maybe broadens out how they can use it?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can also do your own research based on the quantifications that you would get out of our reports, which means we don't stop there reporting just single substances, but you can also have your own process aligned to that in order to use those substances, those biomarkers, and do your own research in diagnostics.
Okay. Numarez was founded in, I think, 2004 as a spin-off from Regensburg University, so it's been going for some time now. What are the biggest areas that it's focused on currently?
Well, what we do is mostly we provide biomarker, multi-biomarker panels, which means based out of one specimen, you can quantify a lot of substances out of that. It's a physical measurement, which means that you're not bound to knowing exactly what substance you're looking for, as you would be used to in diagnostics mostly. But we measure the entire spectra, which means everything that is detectable in those specimens. And from there, we derive the single biomarkers, which is something that we provide to our customers, as well as combinations of those. We call them metabolic constellations, which means combinations of biomarkers, of biological pathways, pretty much, that allow you to draw diagnostic conclusions or therapeutic conclusions. The NMR itself has its very unique strength in those, particularly the parallel measurement, which means you get a vast majority of, or quite a menu of biomarkers out of it. And it's measured in parallel, which means you don't have several steps in order to get to those biomarkers. It's one simple sample prep, it's one measurement, and everything else is done on the technology backend and run by the software itself. So at the end of the day, it allows you to get a comprehensive view of biological pathways, of biological substances, mostly metabolites, which means you're going away from a more isolated single biomarker view, and it enables you really to get into the area of advanced diagnostics and advanced therapeutics.
So you should be able to get a more comprehensive view of what's going on by looking at this whole ocean of biomarkers.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So tell me about your plans then for the next year or so. What are you doing and what do you hope to achieve?
We currently focus a lot on our clinical programs. in order to, first of all, expand the test menu that we have. Our playground, so to say, is cardiorenal metabolic diseases. So this is really where the NMR excels extremely well in the area of cardiology, of hepatology and nephrology, and also the interplay of those organs and the organ functions. We see a lot of crosstalk between diseases, and we see a lot of dependencies on each other. And NMR is really able to capture a lot of those metabolites. So expanding that test menu is a focus for the next year, definitely, as well as our MASH program. In MASH, particularly the fibrosis case, which is mostly used in order to diagnose the progression of MASH and also get people on drugs and therapies, is one of the key focus areas for our development. As for our commercial operations, we focus on the expansion of our geographic footprint, particularly in Asia, in the Middle East and Oceania. So we see a lot of positive feedback, a lot of traction in the area of multi-omics, which means more a combination of different omics technologies from genomics, proteomics, and metabolomics in order to get the best results for the patient.
Okay, fantastic. Florian, it's been great speaking to you. Thanks very much, Florian Voss, CEO of Numarez.
Thank you for having me.